Hello, my name is Stan Copeland and I'm the pastor of Lovers Lane United Methodist Church in Dallas, Texas. I'm doing a series called Dear Dad. This is a conversation with my dad who is in a process of discernment related to disaffiliating from the United Methodist Church and becoming part of the Global Methodist Church. This is part 2. Dear Dad, this video is a little harder and sadder for me. Here's what I see as the GMC coming to be and what will be in store for churches disaffiliating with the United Methodist Church to become part of the Global Methodist Church. Number 1, the GMC will not remain in a denomination that fails to hold churches, bishops, and clergy accountable for violating the Book of Discipline. Reflection. Most of us recognize that civil disobedience in our country has been a legitimate approach to changing laws that are felt to discriminate. Most of the disobedience in our church is in our urban settings, with a high percentage of membership in the LGBTQ spectrum, and their mission field is largely a gay community. And still far less than 1% of our churches and pastors disobey the Book of Discipline. Number 2, GMC wants to move a denomination with commitment to the current language found in the Book of Discipline. Reflection. We have all been told that the language in the Book of Discipline is hurtful by people who are LGBTQ and their family and friends. For the GMC, the language is supremely important to make everyone clearly know what they are against and who is excluded from full involvement. Number 3, GMC churches to be must have a church conference where all members are eligible to vote, with the resolution to disaffiliate approved by 2/3 of the membership present. Reflection. There will be divisions within local churches and among friends and within families that will be painful. 4, GMC local churches will be required to pay last year's and this year's remaining apportionments, in addition to the unfunded pension liability. Reflection. This will be expensive, especially for those churches with debt. But let us remember that paragraph 2553, lining out the disaffiliation stipulations, was proposed and supported by the GMC folk when it appeared that the progressives might be the ones leaving. Oops. And 5, GMC churches to be will complete all the steps of disaffiliation, and the district and annual conference must vote to approve the disaffiliation. 6, GMC churches to be must complete everything by 12/31/2023. The reflection. This deadline is arbitrary. There is clearly stated in the Book of Discipline another path to disaffiliation. 7, GMC churches will be receiving new pastors through a quasi-call system where a person of color and a woman will be offered for consideration. Reflection. There will probably be a fairly shallow cast of clergy and pastors. Especially low will be the percentage of clergy women, clergy of color, and young clergy. It will be years in the making to have a widespread network of clergy and churches. And unless the exclusion stance has more appeal to the next generations coming up than it has with the last 2 generations, there's really no future. 8, GMC churches will forfeit their direct association with institutions, schools, seminaries, hospitals, camps, senior living facilities that carry the United Methodist Church name and distinctive cross and flame logo. 9, GMC will take steps leading to unprecedented changes. Some are as follows. Bishops will be elected for a term. Retired pastors will lose their vote at annual conference. Churches will not be guaranteed a pastor. Pastors will not be guaranteed an appointment. Ordination changes. Deacons will be the first step toward elders' ordinations. Local pastors' licensing is still being worked out. Ordained pastors' educational requirements will be much lower. 10. GMC was launched May the 1st, 2022, but not fully formed. Here are some of the issues yet to be decided. No settled and approved book of discipline, no general conference set, no bishops elected, no annual conferences constituted. 11. GMC will be a denomination largely formed around the exclusion of a class of people, namely LGBTQ. Reflection. Among Methodists, this kind of split hasn't happened since 1844 in our denomination, which happened over an enslaved group of African descent people. Churches and pastors who defy the GMC law will be kicked out. 12. GMC will hold local churches and members to a stricter adherence to the discipline and the doctrines practiced by the church. Reflection. The outlined process to expel a member or congregation is remarkably easy. A bishop who is unhappy with a pastor can simply choose not to appoint him or her. 13. GMC will be governed by a 17-member transitional leadership council with board powers over most denominational decisions until the constituting general conference can be held. Reflection. By contrast, the United Methodist General Conference consists of more than 800 delegates from around the world elected from every annual conference. How I wish that Mom's health were not so compromised and she was able to voice her opinion. There's no doubt that this faithful saint, who once won the Texas Annual Conference Denman Evangelism Award, has sung at hundreds of weddings and funerals, has been the epitome of hospitality, directed our youth singing group when we were kids, and loved our gay youth, adults, and pastors all the same. She would not vote to disaffiliate with the UMC. You might say she was a yellow dog United Methodist. So thanks for watching the video and subscribing to the Picklin Parson YouTube channel. Dad, you have to click that big red box that says subscribe. Thank you.